Hi everyone, I'm Daniel, and this is the 1 year anniversary of my Quick Learner channel. So as a special video, I'm going to do a tier list. And this tier list, as you can see, is going to be about the investigators of Arkham Horror, all of them. I don't know how many there are. There are a lot of them, and how much I enjoy them. Importantly, not how much that they are strong in the game, but rather how much I've liked playing them in my experience. And that will mean that I'm not including any investigators that I haven't played before. So you can see here in our NA tier, I've included the investigators I could think of off the top of my head that I actually haven't played, which is interesting. I've never played Daryl, and I don't really have any desire to. He seems very strong. I played at a table with him several times. Parallel Wendy, Parallel Daisy, I've not played. Lola, I've not played. Rita always seems to be taken by people that I play with. I have not played her, haven't played Trish. I know she's very good, and I have not played Parallel Agnes. Also, haven't played Parallel Jim or Ashcan Pete or Zoe or anyone else who might be released sometime soon, or of course any of the Hemlock Vale investigators. So I'm just going to go with the ones that I've played and I like, and not just the ones I like, but the ones that I've played and have something to say about them and their decks. So I will be showing you a deck that I have played somewhat recently from these investigators. That'll be here on the screen. I won't talk about it for too long, but it'll give you an idea of some of the decks that I have built in the past, and let's go for it. So our first investigator is Roland Banks. Roland Banks. What did these rankings mean? I don't know. It's just a ranking. S is like the ones I've had the most fun with. I think this will develop as I go along, and you'll see kind of my own play style and what I like about playing this game the best. So Roland, I like Roland. Everyone's played Roland, right? Let's put him in the A tier for now. I like that he does a lot of things. I like that he can get clues, kill monsters. That's kind of his thing, right? All right, let's look at a deck that I've recently played with him. Actually, not so recent. I played this through Dream Eaters, side A, I think. It was Flex. Not a whole lot of XP in those campaigns, so I think I was just trying to do custom ammunition with his special gun and Michael Lee, I guess. It was a good deck. I got some practice makes perfect stuff going on here as well. No deduction, which is interesting. I've played Roland many other times. He always seems to die through horror. In fact, in the Dream Eaters, I decided to just like ignore his cover-up weakness entirely. Yeah, I was playing with the advanced version here. I ended up with 3 mental trauma and needed to throw in a Hollowed Mirror at the end just to save my myself from dying early in the finale there. Otherwise, it worked out perfectly fine. So good investigator, Roland, especially now with Runic Axe, like he has no problem with the horror healing aspect. All right, let's move on to our next investigator, which is Daisy Walker. You know and love her. She has the extra tome action. By the way, I'm putting up signature cards and the front side on her deck, or on the screen of her deck. I'm not going to talk about them all, right? This will take hours, I suppose, if I did, but the 0 to 5 Seeker, 0 to 2 Mystic is really nice. I'm going to put her at A+, because I think she just does a lot of cool things. The extra action is always fun. I recently played Daisy on my channel here with Tommy as the Clover in Return to Path to Carcosa. Here's that deck. If you haven't watched that playthrough, it was just a limited deck building, only Path to Carcosa and Investigator starter decks and core set cards. Fun deck. I think I was just, fighting the mythos quite a bit with the horror issue in that particular campaign, but I had a good time here. Okay. She's a lot of fun to play. Like, again, very, very strong, but I like what she can do. And she was one of the first investigators I ever played, so I'm going to put her in A+. All right, next is going to be Skids. No one likes Skids, except for me. I like Skids. This is the original Skids, not the parallel Skids. Now, is he as good as the other two that are up here. I love his deck building. His deck building is Rogue and Guardian, and at this point in the card pool, it's actually quite strong. He's not as fun to play as Roland, but I'll show you a deck that I played with him. This was a Innsmouth deck where I played Underworld support, and I did like the Venture thing. Let's see if I can find it. Venture and Ornate Bow. That was the thing. So here it is at the end of Innsmouth, so a good chunk of XP. As you can see, I had the Black Fan as well. Haste, Decorated Skull. I loved playing this deck. This was a lot of fun. It's a 3-player game. Yeah. Probably lives in B, but I might bump him up to A later. I mean, it was a great time. Like, if I have a bad time with Investigator, I will tell you that, and most of them are actually going to live up in the upper tiers, I think. Next up is Agnes. I think Agnes is really, really fun. I have never had a bad experience with Agnes. I think her card pool is amazing. The 05 Mystic, 02 Survivor does do a lot of things in that horror. Taking horror to ping a enemy with 1 damage is really fun. I'm not sure I have much more to say about Agnes, but I have never had a bad time with her. Here is the most recent Agnes deck I played through. I think it was Return to Dunwich. And it was Down the Rabbit Hole. Here it is. It was Flex, so you can see some Shriveling, Sixth Sense, 2 copies of Upgraded Clarity of Mind. Mysterious Raven somehow made it to the end. The Look What I Founds were really clutch. I remember the end of this campaign. We won because I think I needed to move, investigate, and resign. And those were like the last 3 actions before I probably was going to die. Maybe I could have survived one more. But I moved, I investigated, drew the auto fail, which then allowed me to play Look What I Found. I got the 2 clues that I needed to advance. It was great. I even threw in Able-Bodied here, just to have some more icons in this deck. This was a fun time. I mean, she's such a strong investigator. Okay, let's move on to Wendy. I am playing Wendy right now through one side of Dream Eaters. I've played her before. I think she's an extremely well-designed investigator because you can do something with her deck building because she's 05 Survivor and 02 Rogue, so there's a lot going on there. You can also build around her ability to discard cards at will. And then you can also build around her event recursion with her amulet. All fun styles of play. I think she goes up to A+. She's strong. Sometimes the strongest investigators are going to get bumped down a bit for me. But I like that you feel like you're actually doing something when you play her, even though you're going to pass a lot of tests that you probably shouldn't. Played her through Forgotten Age as well. Let me show you my deck for Wendy that I'm playing right now, which is exactly the discard synergy deck, I think. We've got... Oh, this is also... It's not a Dark Horse deck, but it is a Mariner's Compass deck, which is actually quite amazing. The exhaust makes it kind of tough for most investigators, because if you auto-fail or you just miss the... get -4 or 5 or something, you're very sad because you can't do it again. But for Wendy, you just redraw the token. This is going quite well. Yeah, 3x Glimmer of Hope, 3x of Fortuitous Discovery, which is usually a very bad card, but you can get those into your deck into your discard pile pretty easily. This has been fun. Yeah, A+ is good. A+ is good. Let's move on to... I guess this is going to be Dunwich now. These are mostly in order. Some of the investigators that have 3 signature cards are going to be at the end. Zoe is like, if not A+, You know, I like her a lot. I played her through. I played her a lot too. I played a Bless Zoe even before the parallel came out. I played a um, just straight up Thorns Zoe. Let me see if I can find my Innsmouth one that I played. This is the Iron Man one I played over the summer. Here it is. This is kind of the Thorns version of Zoe with the Hunter's Armor, Lonnie Ritter to heal the Hunter's Armor, Survival Knife, Brand of Cthulhu. This is 4-player, and all I needed for weapons were Brand of Cthulhu and 2 Survival Knives with the Beat Cops and Guard Dogs living forever. They it was great. They lived forever because we had a Vincent Lee on the team. Also down the rabbit hole. It was really good, even with the overzealous. I think she's just a lot of fun to play, and she can be built in a few different directions, which I think is really good too. Okay. Next, we've got Rex. I've played Rex on the channel. I've played Rex to save a campaign in which we all were dying, and I died. I'll get back to who that was later. I mean, obviously he's extremely strong. Does he belong in A or B? I'm going to think about that, and I'm probably going to go back and change all of these later as we go along. This is the Rex Murphy deck that I played in a Return to Path to Carcosa that came in after almost everyone died in scenarios 4 and 5. And there's very little XP in here. I know I threw down the rabbit hole in here as well to give a boost, but it just cleaned up. I mean, Grim Memoir, I like throwing in level 0 lockpicks in Rex. It's, I think, quite useful. Daring Maneuver to protect it. Also to protect his ability in general. Getting that extra clue, again, I play with Taboo List, so just once per round is still really, really strong. Some good stuff here. Was it fun? It was fun because we were doing so poorly, and somehow this guy just made it through the catacombs all by himself. It was wild. The hyper awareness helps too. He's got 3 agility. That's, does he need a whole lot more going for him? Probably not. Yeah, we'll throw him in A for now. Jenny. I've played Jenny once. Did I have fun? Kind of. This is Edge of the Earth, I think. Let's go find that Jenny deck. Problem with Jenny is she's got all the 3s, but when she gets a bunch of XP, she can do some interesting things. So this is a Jenny deck with Underworld support and the Red Clock. Okay, I remember this being quite strong. Yeah, I mean, again, I love the Dunwich deck building. The fact that you get these 5 off-class cards. I don't remember if the scavenging actually triggered much. Savant is really good in Jenny. Honestly, let's put her up to... Nah, I'm going to leave her in B. I think she's fun, but not as fun as the people above her. Okay. Jim. People don't like Jim either. I like Jim. I think Jim makes you feel like you are doing something in the game. Maybe even put him up to A+. Is he as strong as other mystics? No. Is he fun to try to make work because you're trying to draw all the skulls? Absolutely. Do you feel really good when you have the trumpet out? Yes. I played him a lot. Let me see. The last time I played him, I think this was at BusterCon, beginning or the middle of this year. And you know what? I made Song of the Dead work. I believe I played this and hit the skull, hit it on a skull probably 4 out of the 5 times. I know people complain about it's never going to happen, but with Olive, with Nikosi, you just don't play it unless it's going to happen, right? You use Dark Prophecy, but you don't just randomly pull on your Song of the Dead charge unless you have nothing else you can do. This was in War of the Outer Gods, and we cleaned up. Got a lot of clues with 6th Sense. 4-player makes it a lot easier, of course, too. Why did I have Gravedigger Shovel? I don't know. I think it was just something to throw in for scavenging. I don't think I actually played it. The statue, though, the scavenging statue combo is really good. Also really good in Agnes. Again, the trumpet is amazing. I'll take that was a good way to get one of these things into play. I don't remember which, but it's nice with 6th Sense. Okay, I think Jim is fun. I don't know why people have a bad time with him. I like the whole token manipulation thing, though. Next up, we have Ashcan Pete and his dog Duke. He's also A+. I like all the fun things you can do, and all the stupid things you can do. Here is an Ashcan Pete deck that I played that was the main fighter, I'm pretty sure, in Dream Eaters, and this was a Bless team. So it looks something like this. 2 copies of 18 Derringer. Oh my goodness. A Blessed Blade. I don't remember if I ever used it, but the real kicker was the Rite of Sanctification, because you can ready this with his ability. So you discard a card to ready an asset. That can be Rite of Sanctification. And then a bunch of interesting events and skills. I think it did really well. Like, I was the main fighter in a 2-player group, but actually got a lot of clues because Duke is you just use Duke. Why not? What else are you gonna do with your turn? Like draw a card? Don't do that. Just get clues. It did really well. Probably helped that the Preston deck that this was paired with was totally busted, but you know, Bless team was fun. So yeah, A+ Duke. Next will be, I guess, Carcosa, right? No, we have, oh yes, Carcosa. Min is Carcosa. Mark will come in later because he's got three different cards to talk about. I've played Min a couple times. I'm going to throw her in A. I like her survivor cards. I like her ability. You really need to lean into, like, the deck building, though. There's not much that you can do with her ability that's that cool outside of Analytical Mind itself. Let's see if I can find a Min deck that's worth showing. I played this one on the channel in Path to Carcosa, and I tried to do a Flex Min, look something like this. I think it was fine. It got clues. I know I tried to do Dark Horse and I didn't like it because I just don't like Dark Horse that much. It can do some work, but I think it's just too much work for what it's worth. This was, again, limited deck building here, so there's some odd choices like Unexpected Courage level 2. But when I was playing through some of these characters on my channel, I was only using cards up to the cycle that I was playing, plus the Investigator starter decks. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. This is an A. I played her before in Dream Eaters before, and that was kind of fun too. Also paired with Winifred. This was Winifred and Min. And that was maybe better. I mean, I like skill cards. This is contrary to some of the previous things you've seen on this channel. If you have a skill card based Investigator, I like skill cards. I just don't like throwing them into decks where you don't, it's like you didn't know what else to add, so I guess you add that. Anyway, she's A. I think she's very strong too, but honestly, I'm gonna bump her down to B. I don't remember her being the fun parts of that campaign. I thought it was Winifred. Hint, hint, hint. Okay. Sapina. Oh no, Sapina. I've played Sapina twice. And I don't like Sapina. Why don't I like her? I thought she was, I'm going to show like the deck where I thought she was the best. And that was when I played her with Joe Diamond in Innsmouth. I think her ability is okay. It's kind of cute, but I don't think it ends up being very good because you're just increasing your hand size at the beginning. That's good, but you can't mulligan. So you're just like, this is what I've got. The problem I have with her is that the painted world, like, it works 3 times and then it's gone. And then you don't even know if the events that are beneath you are going to stay there or not because of her stupid weakness, which just randomly gets rid of cards that you're trying to double and you just can't. Okay, so this is the best time I had with her. I got a ton of XP, lots of money, well connected level 3, double. I mean, I had a fun time with this deck, but again, I was kind of frustrated with drawing her weakness. Then I played her again somewhat recently, and in a standalone, and her weakness killed me. Like, there was nothing I could do, kept shuffling back into her deck, because that's what happens until you draw it when there's only 5 cards left. I don't know, like, I'm sure that people have played her and know how to deal with it. Like, you can use, what's the card? Well, either Scrying or Scroll Secrets to get rid of her weakness, but man, if you have to put exact cards into your deck to discard your weakness, I'm not going to have a fun time playing that Investigator. Like, the weaknesses should trigger, and either they shuffle back in or they go away, but like, they shouldn't do something and shuffle back in. So they kill one of your cards and shuffle back in, and then when you have no cards left, it deals you a damage and a horror every time. In this case, I think I had tons of soak, so it was fine, but I've not had a good time playing her. I'm tempted to even put her into the D tier. There's fun things you can do with her. Her stat line is interesting, but not for me. Akachi. Akachi's fine. She's kind of bland, right? She can do a lot of things. She's very powerful. Let's see. When did I last play her? I think I've only played her once. I've seen her played quite a bit. This looks like a Dunwich run. So not a whole lot of XP. Well, no, 36. I guess Arcane Research will do that for you. Honestly, I don't remember this one so much. I know you can do some fun things with Decorated Skull. She could take the level 3 version too. Kind of an odd deck. I don't remember this one, but I mean, she's good. Nah, she's going down a beat. I'm being a little more critical now. She's not someone that I just like. I've got a lot of like cool ideas with synergy that she can do. She always takes new cards that come out in a new pack or new Investigator box, but not super fun time that I've had with her. York, I think, is really, really strong. Maybe even the strongest in the game. And I've had a fun time playing him. The VP for his signature card is crazy good, and his weakness does nothing. It's just another enemy to kill, and that's what York is there for. Let's put him in A+. I think he encourages a deck style that I like, which is tons of assets. He does make the game feel a little bit easy, though. Here is a Return to the Forgotten Age campaign that I played 3-player not so long ago. Let's see. Nope, this is a Edge of the Earth playthrough. And he's so good in Edge of the Earth. He's so good. All those extra cards that you get for that are items and assets that cost almost nothing, right? That you get as part of the campaign are crazy good in him. Yeah. Let me find the Return to Forgotten Age. Hang on. Because that was also fun. Fire Extinguisher is so good in him, though. Not always a bad thing, but I think this was at the end of that run. Like 2x, nothing left to lose, Eucatastrophe. It is crazy. I had the Bandages Beat Cop thing going on. Not in any danger of dying, and, you know, killing Yig was like really easy. So I don't know. Like, I even threw Observed in here. There's so much XP. 65 XP. I mean, you can get more in Forgotten Age for sure, but it was fun. Okay. Let's go to Lola. I've not played Lola. Okay. Leo. I like Leo a lot. Leo is a lot of fun. I think he's sometimes tough to play because you have to know what you're doing with him. But I love the ally game. I'm gonna give him A plus. Yep, A plus. Let's find a deck that I played with him. I don't think I've played him in quite some time. Let's see. It's possible the last time I played him was like a Dunwich run a long time ago. Yeah, this is when I played through Dunwich with some of my friends like 2 or 3 years ago. And let's see, we've got Mauser, we've got Survival Knife. I couldn't afford to get everything. There's only 30 XP in here. For some reason, I decided to get Agency Backup with, I mean, it's good, but it's so expensive. 2x Charisma makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that's a good deck. I wish you could take the upgraded Decorated Skull, but I understand it would be really, really good if he couldn't, if he could. I don't remember it, but I mean, I like the idea of Leo, and when I've played him, I enjoyed it. So, A+. Next is Ursula. I've played Ursula only once. I think she's fine. I want to play her again, just so I have a better idea of how much I like her. I don't mind her weakness. I don't think her signature card does anything, but I don't... Let me see if I can find when I last played her. I think it was Carcosa. I played her in a Carcosa run. Ursula. I'd like to play her again soon. I think I might. Yeah, I think I played this with Akachi in Carcosa. Let's see what I did. Crystallizer? Okay. Must have had a problem with physical trauma because why would I put in medical texts? Okay. Some strange ideas here. Deciphered Reality was just because of the last scenario in Carcosa. I mean, I love the extra action. I think she's good. We'll put her in A. I love Father Mateo. If you like Jim, you're going to like Father Mateo. I've only played him once. And I tried to do the whole Blessing of Isis thing. Let's take a look at that deck. It was... don't try to do what I did, which is try to play a Bless deck when no one else in your campaign is playing Bless tokens, because you're going to have a hard time adding the Bless tokens to the cup. So what I did is I even added Versatile just because I had no way to add them in. I think I had Tempt Fate at one point, and then I got rid of it after I got the Holy Rosaries into play. And then I was adding them like crazy, but the beginning of this campaign was rough. I think I was trying to do too much here. We all died in City of Archives, so I had a fun time. It was so much fun to be like, draw one Blessed token, and then, you know, try to get the other one. You know, you have to have all McBride. That's the only way that this works. I think Nikosi as well, I think, is the other way to do it. But it's so much fun to pass tests where you have like no business actually passing them, and then put the Blessed tokens back in. Yeah. Problem with it was I wasn't doing enough, I don't think, with the deck. Like, there's so much stuff in here to just pass tests. I was trying to be a fighter, so I got the Shrivelings in here, but I think I was doing too much. Not focused enough. Hey, this is several years ago, though, so I've gotten a little bit better at my deck building. I put him in A+. Someone's got to move up to S, though. Can't just be Agnes. Cannot just be Agnes. I know some other investigators who will make it there, but Calvin. Calvin almost makes it there. I've always had fun playing Calvin. But I don't think he's going to make it there yet. He might make it there later. I last played Calvin in a 3-player Carcosa campaign, and if you know about Carcosa, you can see why he might be quite good. It was a doubt run though, so I try to keep it a little bit fair. Let me show you the deck anyway. The fun part about this deck, for me anyway, was it was an on-your-own deck, meaning that I tried to steal everyone's allies. Here's the deck. I actually added Versatile here. I don't always do that, but I wanted to add Hawkeye Folding Camera in to make it a little bit easier to stay alive. The +1 sanity is nice. The newspaper was crazy, but really what makes this a lot of fun was the short supply scavenging. I think scavenging 2 is kind of necessary in Calvin to get the extra action basically back for playing cards. Scavenging, and what was the other card that made it work? Like Sharp Vision. Sharp Vision was really good. Yeah, a lot of good stuff overall here. I think Calvin is not the best investigator, but one of the most fun if you know what you're doing, because you feel like you're doing something in the game. And I think that's a big thing for me. Some of these investigators who just like don't make you make choices are kind of boring. We'll see. Some of these guys are making it up, I think. Who is next? Carolyn. Yes, we skip Finn. Finn we'll see later. I guess we got all of the Forgotten Age people then. Carolyn is also an A+. I enjoy her deck building. Her deck building is take anything that can heal horror. Well, over on SuperFang99's channel, we played together a Carolyn and Diana duo. And where is that one? It was a pre-taboo power word deck. It looked something like this, and it was crazy. It was really, really good. It had, this lean into healing horror and getting resources and then using resources theme. Close a Circle was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing the deck. It was just maybe a little too strong with the 3x power word, but it did a lot. I enjoyed it. Guess I don't have to say much more there. I've played other Carolyn decks that were kind of similar to this idea, but before Power Word came out, and I had a lot of fun with them too. I like the idea of a support guardian. She was mostly getting clues here, so she does run a little different in 2-player versus 3 and 4, but I think she is really good. I also really like Joe Diamond. I'm actually going to put him up in S right now. He is someone I turn to often because I think his deck building 0 to 5 Seeker, 0 to 2 Guardian is really strong. Allows you to do some interesting combos that you can't do with their Seekers. And I think he's just good. I love the Hunch deck. Hunch deck makes me feel like I am doing something fun. Let's see a Joe Diamond deck that I ran through the Scarlet Keys. And it is somewhere. Yep, here it is. So 46 XP. This is because we were playing with a Daisy who gave us Delve Too Deep almost every time. Okay. In the Scarlet Keys, Alice Luxley is really, really good. I almost always play Farsight with Joe Diamond. This was a Joe Diamond flex, but actually was the main enemy handler as well because we didn't have someone who wanted to just kill all the enemies. So most of my events here are going to be Guardian ones, and the Seeker hunches are basically there to get through my deck more quickly and find things I want. But with Farsight, like I can't give up things like extensive research. I love this card. Can't play Joe Diamond without working a hunch. So yeah, I mean, playing all the other events fast is also fun. Like how about a Dynamite Blast that's basically acting like a level 3 Dynamite Blast. It was good, very strong. Sledgehammer fits right into your Detectives Colts 1911s holsters. I think Joe is a pretty good home for it. Not the best weapon in the world, but it did the job. Yeah, Joe's good. Okay, where are we now? We are now on to Preston. I've played Preston once. I didn't know what I was doing. However, I had fun doing it. He'll go to A for now. I'd like to play him again with the larger card pool. I think I only played him back when Circle and Done was it. Um, do I dare show that deck? I think I showed it when Super Fang and I talked about the Circle Undone. Let's see. Preston. I'm not sure I'm going to find it, but it was bad. It was really bad. I think it might be this one. Oh, it was terrible. Pre-taboo. So I somehow was playing with the Key of Yees. 22 experience through 7 scenarios. That's just awful. There's like one of everything, and I was not playing Underworld support because that was not released yet. So this is a bad deck. It's a bad deck that I played when I first started playing the game. We did not win the campaign, but it wasn't because of this deck. It was okay, but honestly, like we just didn't know how to play the game very well. Okay. I'd like to play him again. Next up, Marie. I've played Marie exactly once, and it was recent because I was playing with the new stuff, the Scarlet Keys Doom stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Again, pre-taboo to Power Word. It's just FYI. So when you see this deck, you'll see it was using Power Word. It was using Power Word a lot. I know I'm going through these very quickly because otherwise I will be talking for 2 hours, which already might happen. But if you need to pause and look at things, that's perfectly fine. I'm not putting the deck list up. You could just pause and copy things yourself. I had a lot of fun through the Forgotten Age with this deck, and it did so much. The extra action, if you have Doom on something, is so good, and it just crushed the end of the campaign. Not much more I can say. I think the off-class cards for her are much stronger than they appear, and the fact that you can take other spells like Alter Fate, really good too. Yeah, a lot of my Mystic decks kind of look like this now. Always include Prophetic, try to get some other stuff in here, but it was a good time. I like Close the Circle, what can I say? And I probably include St. Hubert's Key in almost every deck now. Let's move on. I'm going to probably adjust some of these in the A+ at some point, but not yet. I've not played Rita. Tommy. I like Tommy. I think I'm putting in an A. I almost want to move up to A+. I play him a lot. I like his ability. I like the Survivor card pool. Just hard to say no to it. Let's see. The most recent time was probably with Daisy, so let's go find that deck. This is the Return to Path to Carcosa limited deck building. Yeah, that's when I tried Shotgun out for the first time and auto-failed several times. Should have added Live and Learn. It was fine. The first aid's here because of Return to Path to Carcosa. You need a lot of healing. I'd like to play him again with a full card pool and kind of a better plan, but ultimately, like, he's good. He's just maybe not super exciting. I want to try him again with the custom modifications card on Becky. I think that would be fun. I'll try that sometime. He'll just live in A. I think he's not quite as like enticing as these other investigators quite yet. Mandy I've played exactly once, and I know she's really good. I didn't... Okay, so I played her with 50 cards. Let's go get the deck before I make too many other comments. It was a big hand deck. Looked like this. It was good. I was trying to do a lot of things that I maybe wouldn't otherwise do if I weren't trying to have some fun. Eavesdrop, I think I got a lot of mileage out of. I was paired with a Rita. I don't think it did quite as much as I was expecting. The 50 cards has something to do with it, but it was fairly consistent. She's got such good stats. The thing that impressed me about this was that since I had 3 copies of Occult Evidence, I could use this to, well, when I was searching, I was discovering clues, but then if it appeared in my hand, oh, it always does, right? You draw it and then it goes into your hand. I then played it using Farsight to get it back into my deck, right? That's how it works. Yeah, shuffle it back into your deck. So that was fun, and that was an unexpected fun thing. Okay, she goes to A. She goes to A. Let's move on. Luke I played once, and he was good. He's a very strong investigator. The Mystic cards are very strong. The I played him a long time ago though. Mystic cards are very strong. Obviously, the Secret cards are going to be very helpful too. What do we got here? Another one of everything. Well, I can see why I didn't have that much fun. It's not a great deck. I decided to upgrade. I had 1 copy of Arcane Research for some reason. Decided to upgrade only some things. I don't think Olive is a good choice for this deck. This should be Wit and Green. Well, I think I had a fun time just zipping around the map because you're always going to be using that Gatebox ability. What was I doing? A crazy deck. Again, one of the first times I played Arkham Horror, the card game. So he's going to live in B for now because I probably just need to play him again and have a better time. Maybe with a better deck. I don't think it was fun. I just don't think he's not someone that I've thought about playing again at all because I think he's just really strong and I don't like the super strong investigators that much. So I don't know. Sorry, Luke, you're going to be the B tier. Again, this is how much I've enjoyed playing them, not how strong I know that they are. He's like an S tier investigator for power. Okay. Patrice. I love Patrice. Patrice is exactly the kind of investigator I like to play. She might go up to S tier. I've played her a couple times, and I just like the kinds of decisions you need to make every single round. Let's see if we can find a deck for her. I know probably most recently I played her in Edge of the Earth, and that was probably more than a year ago. Yeah. I didn't upgrade the Pocket Multi-Tool. No, that can't be right. I think I added this in because ArkhamDB didn't have it. I'm pretty sure I upgraded this, like, not all the way, but certainly with spring-loaded. She's a really good user of this card because she likes assets. It sounds strange. She likes assets. You just have to get them in play. So if you can find a time to get them in play, then it's really good. Now, the way you do it, though, is I think the scavenging level 2 allows her to play things in her discard pile, so no problem. I had a lot of fun with this deck. I think it did a lot. I've made the Diana I was playing with, like, impressed that I kept killing things with improvised weapon over and over again. I think that combined with, you know, skill cards and her thing I just said, the Pocket Multi-Tool, really is effective. Like, you don't think that you should be able to do this much damage, but you can. Yeah, probably should have more skills, or I don't know. I mean, I like assets, and it worked. I know you look at Patrice and say she shouldn't have that many assets. I mean, look, Plucky is fast. Moonstone you're going to play from discarding. The spells you kind of need if you're doing that anyways. You just don't have to play everything every time. You just play them when you have time. You can still get a lot done with the events and skills. I like Patrice. Patrice is A+ and maybe moves up later. Cool. We're making some good time. Sister Mary, we're into Innsmouth. I have enjoyed Sister Mary. I've played her twice. And most recently, I played her in... she's going to go in A, I think, for now. I played her in a standalone where I was throwing a Summon Servitor into her deck. Let's see if I can find that one. And it did a lot of work with Michael Lee. It seems stupid, right? But it actually was really good. Yeah, here's the deck. So I didn't get the Dragon Pull out very quickly. So I was hoping to use this to actually deal damage once Michael Lee had a bunch of evidence on him. But the Summon Servitor was here to do a bunch of investigating. I just left him on some locations with a bunch of clues. And then every time you investigate, you put, yeah, every time you put a resource on Michael Lee. So I was doing basic attacks and just doing 2 damage because I didn't have the Dragon Pull out for a while. But this was still very strong. The Rite of Sanctification is an incredible card. So I showed you I used it before. A lot of assets, but... Oh, that's right. I saved a bunch of money so I could use it on Keen Eye. I don't know. I just wanted to play the card, see if it would work. Is it good? No. Did it make sense in this deck? Yes. I just wanted to play a Sister Mary that was not your basic Holy Spear, all the Guardian cards. This was leading heavily into Mystic, but using some interesting things that Mystics don't get access to, like Michael Lee. Okay. This is a fun game. You have to do some fun things, but you also can't just do fun things that don't work. You have to plan out your deck around it and see how you can take advantage of sometimes suboptimal cards. That's the way I look at it. I'm happy doing crazy things, but the consistency of the deck is not the crazy part. Okay. We're moving along pretty well here. I think our next one is going to be Amanda. I played her once. I think she's B for boring. She has the problem that Calvin has where she needs to take a bunch of tests. She's really strong. You have some interesting decisions to make for what card you put underneath her. But her weakness does nothing. It's really easy to draw a million cards. And you can do some degenerate stuff. That to me is not how I have fun in this game. I haven't found anything that I thought was like interesting to do with her. Most of her stuff is either just boring getting clues and she's good at it, or it's busted. And that's not fun. To me. Haven't played Trish. I'm sure I will. She's strong. Rogue cards I like too, but Dexter. I have been playing Dexter, and that's the only time I've played Dexter. I want to like him. No, I've played him twice. I want to like him a lot. I think he's difficult to play, and I haven't quite figured out how to play him to make the most out of his ability. Probably I need to play him in 3 or 4 player to see if I have more leeway there. Just got crushed with enemies when we played Dunwich. Man, he should be here, but I haven't had the best time playing him, so he's going to go in A. Let's take a look at the... Well, you're seeing the Dunwich one already, so I'll show you the time I play him through Carcosa quite some time ago, about a year ago. It was fun. We won the campaign, and it took kind of every ounce of his ability to get through it. It's in here somewhere. Yeah. It was a weird limited deck building run. So there's some odd choices here, but I remember using Azure Flame to quite good effect. And honestly, using this instead of taking horror was actually way better. It sounds weird, but I think it's because you don't draw those tokens that often. But sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. Had the bulletproof vest in there to help out. That could have been other things, though. This probably should have just been a leather jacket, but it did the trick. This is not a model deck at all. I'm not sure the one I'm playing right now is either. Okay, that is still in Innsmouth. We're now over to Daniela, which is Edge of the Earth. Silas will come later, don't worry. Daniela, I've had a lot of fun with. I've played her not in any campaigns. I've only played her in a standalone. And I had a really good time playing the blob ate everything. The blob that ate everything. Yeah, she's gonna go to A. I had a lot of fun playing her. I really felt like I was contributing and doing some interesting things of, who gets what enemy. Um, but I don't play fighters that often. So she's going to sit there. Probably the top of the A tier, though. If I'm going to order these, and I'm probably not going to unless I feel like at the end, she probably is higher than most of these other ones. Norman Withers. Norman Withers. Oh, I didn't show you a deck for Daniela. Let's go do that. Deck for Daniela. It looked like this. It was really good. Productive Gear, Aquina, Guard Dog, Fire Extinguisher, Wrench, Schaffner's to pay for all that stuff. Get behind me. I'm impressed by this card. I think this card is really good. You have to know what you're doing, but it was really good. Brute Force, of course. I don't know, it was just a strong deck. Okay. Norman Withers. I am playing Norman right now. I'm not playing him with the Astronomical Atlas because I just played it in Gloria. He's good. He's really good. He draws way more cards than you think because of his ability. You just burn through the weaknesses pretty quickly too. This is trying to be a true Magic deck. I don't know how it's going to work. The Edge of the Earth Investigators are weird because they transition from one archetype to another, one class to another. In some of the Investigators, I think Norman's one of them, the thing that you're doing with your deck really changes. So I think like he could run at level 0 and just do really fine with the deck I had. But now I guess I'm trying to push it and do even more with the Sixth Sense, the Rite of Seeking, the True Magic, see how much more I can get ahead on the game. But is it fun? It's okay. It doesn't really speak to me. He's going to go in B. I think it's a little too... Once I play the True Magic, I think I might change my tune here, but so far he's just B. Once I have decided that that's actually a fun playstyle, I think he can move up. But so far, this is the first time I've played him, and there's a reason why he's been left to the end. Monterey Jack, on the other hand, I picked him up out of the box, and I said, this seems really fun. I like moving around. I like getting extra cards and resources. A+. A+ Investigator. I played him somewhat recently in a standalone. Let's see where that one was. This is with Fingerprint Kit level 4. Yeah, this is a good time. I think Think on Your Feet is a really good card in Monterey Jack, and if you have not played the card before, play it in him. Yeah, it just cleared off the board pretty easily. Connect the Dots, another good card that you should play in Monterey Jack because you can pay for it with his ability and crafty and all the other resource generation you can get in Rogue. He's kind of weird because I get it. People say that the best cards in Seeker are level 0, level 1 maybe. Level 0, I mean, he only gets 5 of those cards. Sure. The thing is, the Rogue cards are also really good. And the sad part about this type of investigator is that you end up leaving the Rogue cards behind because you have XP to spend, and eventually you just have to replace them. And you can't replace them with higher level cards, right? So like Thieves Kit is really good in Monterey Jack, and you'd love to get the upgraded one, but the level 0 one is really good too, so you just play it. But yeah, I'll take that on a Fingerprint Kit. Wild. It's wild. He could even go up to S. I'm going to have to sort out this mess at the top, I think, a little bit later. Lily Chen. A. Played her exactly once, and I had a good time. Runic Axe, down the rabbit hole. Probably overplaying that card, but that's okay. Let's see. Where is my Lily deck? I mean, it was fantastic, and I had a good time playing it, but I did feel like after a while it was on autopilot. That is the problem with, I think, a lot of fighters. It was good. This was Circle Undone. Nothing bad here. You did the job. But I felt like it kind of just played itself at the end. I did like that I got a decent amount of clues with Sixth Sense, even the level 0 had a home at the end. String of Curses is good for Circle Undone as well. Arcane Initiate is a nice card to put into a spell-oriented deck, like ones that will have spells such as the Hollowed Mirrors, Bonded cards, the Soothing Melodies, they're spells. Cool. I don't know, that's Lily. Okay. We have Bob Jenkins. He's the one who died in Carcosa that made me play Rex. He's going to be an A+. I think dying brings him down a notch, but I think the deck was fun, and I have always enjoyed the idea of Bob Jenkins. He's got so many good cards to play, even at level 0. It's kind of the same idea. Just talking about with Lily, right? You really want to play all the cards from both your classes, but you can't. Okay, here's Bob. He died. He was greedy. He also had this card, which made him die. It wasn't the other thing that happens in Carcosa. The purpose of this deck was to try to do Lola during a Shroud reduction. So you use Flashlight or Lantern, and then you pay for your clue for not very much money. Did I ever do it? Never. No. Well, the track shoes were kind of fun here. You know, Bob has, what, 3? This put up to 4. I had 5 with Gesh out. This was a fun deck. I had a really good time playing it until I was greedy. Here's what happened. I could have healed myself with the Thermos. Thermos is a bad card, but I think is good in Bob. I could have healed myself with the Thermos, and I didn't. And then during upkeep, I drew Greed, and I had 0 resources, so I took 4 Horror and died. Now you might say, how do you have 0 resources during the upkeep phase? Well, you draw a card first and then gain a resource. That's the whole paranoia thing. For Greed, you have 0 resources because you draw the card before you gain the resource. Yep, it was a mistake. I just made a mistake. But I took the consequences and then played Rex Murphy and just dominated the rest of the campaign. So, you know, it was fine. I just want to play this deck again because I want to see it go through an entire campaign and not just die in a couple of scenarios. That's Bob. I think he does a lot of cool things, like you can play things for other investigators and play things from other investigators for you. That ability I think is great. I guess I could talk more about him and the ability, but I think the deck is cool. I think the ability is cool. Everything about his design I think is fun. Speaking of fun, Charlie Kane. Charlie Kane goes up to S. I've played him 3 times and I've never not enjoyed it. I'm playing him right now in Return to the Forgotten Age in a 4-player group, and the deck is a little wild and it looks something like this. Oh my goodness, there are so many allies, but that's what you're supposed to do. He gets 3 extra ally slots. Yeah, again, I haven't been sitting here trying to talk about every ally or every investigator and their ability. It would take me too long. However, getting the extra allies and then using their icons for skill boosts because you got all 1s is super fun. This is getting a lot of clues. We played returned 2 Threads of Fate, and the team of 4 investigators got 70 clues. 70. Charlie probably got 40. I'm not sure. Probably between 30 and 40, but I think it was a lot. Summon Servitor is a good card. You throw him into Charlie, stick him on a location where there's 8 clues, and just go to town. I'm going to get more skills into this deck eventually, but for now I don't need them. I never think I need them, right? Okay. We will move on to other Scarlet Keys investigators, I think. I played Carson in standalone only, and I think he was a lot of fun because you're playing the like tell other people what to do in what order game, and that I think is worthy of A+. Let's see the deck that I played him in last. I think this was a what was this? I don't remember, but here it is. We've got Hollowed Mirror, Garish, Safeguard. This is where all the skills went, right? Practice makes perfect. Guidance is a fun card. I remember I was trying to play Teamwork and like give people resources. I didn't end up having the resources, but Finn Edwards on the team did and had like 20 or something and gave away some of them to us. Didn't really need them though. Came up too late, but I think Teamwork is a fun card that I would like to play more of. It's a good deck. It was just fun to sort of say, okay, first you move here, and then, you know, I could get a few clues on my own, but also committing deduction to other people's also good. A+, probably, maybe A. I'll see if I change my mind later. Kaimani. I played Kaimani once on my channel. I played them through the Scarlet Keys with Vincent Lee. No, I played Kaimani also in a challenge of how low can you go for the Depth of Yoth, and they did really, really well. As a fighter, I think that's what you kind of want to do. Probably A. I think I find their ability really good and engaging. Engaging. But I like these investigators better. Carson might actually drop. I think Carson's going to drop to A. I think I need to have a little bit of difference between all of these. Okay, let's see the Kaimani deck that I played in the Depths of Yoth. I think that's worth showing off. Okay, this was a Underworld support deck, which was, so one of everything, was centered around the Ornate Bow. This is how we killed Yig. Suggestion was a way to evade Yig. Of course I had Stealth level 3. But other things to get rid of enemies like Delilah, Dirty Fighting. It was, I wouldn't say this is at all a flex, but I actually used the Thieves Kit quite a bit. It just made sense in playing with an Ursula. Instead of having Ursula move to certain locations to investigate, it made sense for me to just investigate to get the money back and clues. Just move forward a little bit. Depth of Yoth also has like some of these cards that keep you from investigating more than once or discovering clues, more than one clue from each location. So having some ability to clues was important. The red clock, though, if you play it, you're just gonna win. It's so strong. I had a really fun time playing this one. So Kaimani, I still think you live in A. I still had a great time playing all of these A tier investigators. Just something draws me to the ones that are higher up. Okay. Daryl, haven't played. Nathaniel Cho, I have played. He's also going to be A. He is fun. But he's a little one note. I mean, you have to make some decisions. You have to do some things that are, you know, kind of neat. Let's see. Where is my Nathaniel Cho deck? This one I played through Carcosa, maybe return 2 on a team with Gloria, who we'll talk about later. A lot of allies for some reason. I don't remember this one so much, but you know, you have all the events, you have the boxing gloves. A lot of them look kind of like this. It was good. Why did I put kerosene in here? Just to see what would happen, I guess. What a strange thing to add. I guess it was in the end of Carcosa, so maybe that's why I did it. Don't know if I ever played it. A is fine. His Elder Sign is really good. I'll play him again. He's not dull. Harvey. Harvey is... I've had a fun time playing Harvey. But I don't think he makes it past A. I think he's really strong. I think you do a lot of cool things with him. I will show you my Miskatonic army through Forgotten Age. Let's see if we can find it. He's just, I think these investigators that don't have an off class have a bit of a problem where you'd really like them to, just to give a little more to their deck. Looks like we played Rougarou as a standalone. Yeah, this is to help him heal damage off of him, because his weakness is scary, and a lot of ways to get rid of it. I had painkillers, I had a surgical kit, and these are ways to deal with it. I could have had Bizarre Diagnosis, that would have been probably better. But it's a big hand deck. You've got Farsight, you have all the events. I know I had a good time with this one, Unearth the Ancients. Pre-current taboo of higher education. I mean, I had so much XP, it made no difference. I think this card just killed it for me. I had a fun time until I put this in my deck, and then I was like, well, I have so many resources. Why don't I just spend them? And it's not hard to have 5 cards or more in your hand. Yeah, he's going to go in A. I didn't find him to be a bad time, but I'm not sure I really want to reach for him anytime soon. Okay. That's Harvey. Next is Winifred, who is going to the very top. Don't even have to think about it. She is going to S tier. She is so much fun to play. Very engaging. I played her a good chunk of time. The most recent time is this Innsmouth, Return to Innsmouth deck. Return to is the fan version. It was big money, but also Underworld support. Yeah, okay, I guess I do this a lot. Underworld Market was also really helpful in this deck because it helped me find the assets I really wanted. Yeah, I think the most fun with this one was just the drawing through to find all the good stuff. That's Winifred, right? You just keep throwing out all of your skills until you draw the assets that you actually want to play in the first place. So I've never had a bad time with Winifred. I think she's just, the stat line is good. It's interesting because you have to deal with the willpower. In this deck, I dealt with it by actually having Dario and the Black Fan, so I had 3 willpower for quite some time, which is stupid. I could add Moxie in there and have 4 willpower. This is a fun deck. Again, I like playing decks where you can just play all the things, and she runs through her deck a few times, even with the extra number of cards, and yeah, it's fun. Good investigator design. I think her deck that she came with is kind of... This isn't a Chuck Fergus version of her deck. You can play that, and I think that's good too, but the skill plus assets is more fun, I think, than the events. Okay. Jacqueline. I played her on the channel. I possibly played her once before. Yeah, I think I played her in Edge of the Earth with the Will York deck that you saw earlier. B. I like token manipulation. I think she can do a lot of... Yeah, okay, she goes A. She can do a lot of things that other investigators can't just because of her ability. But then the card stuff is she everyone gets her cards. Nah, she goes to B. I think she's quite strong. And it is kind of fun just to say, I'm going to pass this test, because you probably will. But I don't think her deck is particularly interesting. So here's the one I played. I'll show you the one I played, I guess, with Will York, because the other one I played on my channel. Let's see. I remember her getting physical trauma and having a problem with that, but even so, did I say that I only played Sister Mary in standalone? That's not true. I played her in a campaign too. Okay, here is Jacqueline at the end of Edge of the Earth. Why did I put the black cat in here? Maybe those symbols at the end of the campaign are weird. Maybe I didn't know what else to put in. I mean, it seems like a fine deck. That was not on purpose this time. It's just not that interesting. I don't think this was a good idea. Oh, this is for Will York. I had this only for Will York. That's hilarious. I don't know. I felt like I was just sort of chugging through the end of that campaign, just saying, well, I'm playing the deck, and it wasn't that much fun. Okay, so she lives in B. We're almost at the end. Stella also played her in Edge of the Earth. Does she go in B or A? Let's look at the deck first. She's not bad. I mean, she's a good investigator, but she wasn't unfun. What do we got here? What was she trying to do? Get clues, probably? No, she wasn't. She was trying to deal damage. A little keyring is here just to add to that with Quick Learner. It's not the best deck. I get it. She gets a lot out of her ability. It is interesting to play her. I think I'm going to leave her in B, though. No, I'm going to leave her in A. I think the ability to play things like Oops or Dumb Luck on the first test that you take, and then still fail, get an action back, and do something is really fun. I think I wish she had more things that she could put in her deck, because I wanted to play Shadowlight and Look What I Found, and you really can't do both of those things. There's not enough room in her deck for everything. She's A. I'm happy with that. Okay, now we move on to the investigators that have 3 signature cards, and those are the ones I skipped before. So we have Diana. Oh, sorry, we have Tony. Tony's first for some reason. B. I've got a pretty good deck from him for Scarlet Keys. Let's take a look at that one. I mean, I had a fun time with it still. I'm not gonna lie and say that he's not a fun time, because honestly, yeah, he's A. Sorry. This was a fun deck because I had a lot of Survivor stuff, and you wouldn't expect to fail, but you do fail a lot of things. You're going to fail the agility and willpower tests. So having Take Heart was really good. At a Crossroads, of course, is a really nice card for him. He's got the money for Alter Fate. This one, it's kind of the rogue lifestyle, though. It kind of fell apart towards the end when I kept drawing auto fails or things that were like auto fails. And that's unfortunate for, the Mauser or other kinds of things that he's got, but the heavy furs, I think, protected against some of that. That was good. What do we have for Friends in Low Places? Item? Yep. A. A is fine. Okay. Silas. I've only played Silas the one time. He's got that weird ability where he pulls skill cards back. It's got some rules nightmare there. Let's find that deck. I played him in Innsmouth with Dexter and Sister Mary, so Silas was like a flex, which was strange. Probably not the best way to play Dexter. Well, definitely not the best way. Here's the deck. Silas, rather. Play Silas. Dexter also should have been getting clues and didn't as much as he probably should have. I like all the skills. I like the different colors of skills. Got Inspiring Presence to ready Jacob Morrison. I probably should have had 2 copies, but we got like no XP in this run. We had 20, what is that? 26? That's pathetic. I just remember at the very last scenario, and we won the campaign, running around with the old keyring and just recurring it to try to get enough clues. Look what I found was good here too. It was a weird deck. You know, really should be using his ability to like commit cards to these cards, but I don't think I was all that often. Yeah, this could be better. Still pretty early when I was playing this game, but where am I going to put Silas? Silas, I think, belongs in the... I need to play him again. I think he belongs in A, but I think he's in B. Because I need to play him again. I think I had a good time, but not a great time. I had a good time with all of these B-level investigators. He's probably at the top of level B. Okay. Next up, we have Mark. Mark I have played once. It was paired with Jenny in that Edge of the Earth one. So let's find Mark. I think this was a pretty good time. I remember using like butterfly swords in this deck. Yeah, there it is. Butterfly swords and combat training. Defensive stance. Man, what was I doing here? I don't know. It worked though. Okay. I don't remember too much about playing this one, if I was having a good time or not, but Mark probably deserves to be in B. Again, what separates the A and B right now is like, was I really into the deck, right? I don't know. Mark probably deserves to be higher, but I'm just not sure. Again, my enjoyment of playing the Investigator. I do feel like he's not as engaging as other investigators. So you kind of just use his ability and heal, and that's all you need to do. Did I have any healing in this deck? I don't think so. I guess I had Cinna's medical kit, and probably Cinna at some point herself. So my guess is I was not using his ability very much, and just using his stat line, and that was it. That's too bad. Probably used the spare parts to refill the medical kit. This was limited deck building. This was not anything but Edge of the Earth plus, you know, the Investigator starter decks and the core. So it's a little wonky. Yeah, he's going to be in B until I play him again where I really try to do something fun with him. Sorry, Mark. Okay. Next we have Finn. I have played Finn 1 time. Nope, 2 times. I believe I played him in Dark Matter. I had a really fun time playing this. He's going to go up to, I think he's going up to A+. This is kind of like a Winifred deck, but I was doing other things, I guess. Dissection tools in Finn worked out really well, but track shoes as well. Yeah, I mean, it sort of looks like the Winifred deck, except for it wasn't Underworld support and didn't have the skills, but it was the same idea of like, I had a million actions, because Dirty Fighting, Pickpocketing, Blur, the 25 Automatic, the 41 Derringer. Yeah, okay, I mean, he's A+, because look at how I'm reacting. It was a fun time. The first time I did Underworld Market was in this deck as well, and it was a good time. Next. Oh, I'm sorry, Diana. Diana lives down with Safina. And she might even go to like a D tier if I really bothered to do that. All right, all right. She's strong. I have seen her played, and she's good. However, so here's how you play her. When you cancel something, you put that card beneath her in order to get +1 willpower. She has like 5 extra cards in her deck in order to kind of compensate for this. So when you do cancel something, you draw the card and resource to refill your hand, I guess, basically. I don't like playing cards or investigators where you're not really getting full use out of the thing that you're trying to do. And most people suggest playing Diana so that you play one of those cancel cards in like the first round, maybe the second round too. She does it actually once per phase, so you can get her up to the 4 or 5 willpower, or 6 really, pretty quickly. But if I'm using a word protection or a dodge or something else, generally I like to play those cards when you need them, not just to cancel something that was a soft card or an attack that you provoked, right? And people play Diana that way, just to cycle through her deck and build up her willpower. I know it's good. I know it's how you're supposed to do it, but like, what happens if the ward protection that you used is below you when you draw an encounter card later that actually has a high impact? Then you're like, well, I already used it just because I wanted the +1 willpower. I don't care for that. Now, if you have Twilight Blade out, then you can reuse it, and that's what you're supposed to do if you can find that card in her 35 card deck. It's a very different character if you have that card out versus not. And if all you're doing is canceling cards to get your willpower up, just play another Investigator. Just play a Mystic that already has 5. Then you're not spinning your wheels, basically just trying to get to a playable state, which is honestly the problem I have with a lot of Investigators who have just like 3s or something. The amount of work you have to do to get them to a place where they can pass skill tests is annoying, unless their ability actually does something else. I'm not saying that canceling a card or ignoring some other effect is not doing anything, because it can. But when you use like dodge on canceling an attack that doesn't matter, then it feels kind of weird. That's just me. I am a Diana hater. I would rather just play someone else who's going to use the kit that they already have. Again, I like Calvin. Like, Calvin needs a lot of work to do anything, but you don't just take, for the most part, Calvin shouldn't be taking attacks of opportunity just to boost his stats up unless he can do nothing. Unless he's got nothing to do. Because later, when you do draw encounter cards or enemies where you are like in a tough spot, you don't want to just take more damage and horror, because that will kill you. You want to make sure that all the damage and horror you're taking is actually proactive. Sounds kind of strange, but that's the way I view the game. I don't want to put cards or play cards in my deck that actually aren't doing anything. Because then when I need those cards later for when it's important, you don't have them. Rant over. Sorry, Diana. That's Finn. Sorry, I can show you a Diana deck. I played her only once, and I abandoned the campaign. This is like after 4 scenarios because it wasn't going well. I'll show it to you, and you can probably tell me I stunk at building her deck. And it's probably true. I need to play her again just to make sure I can do it. And I know other people have made it work. It's not a bad deck. We got a lot of different cancels here. Maybe it's too many. Probably need more things to do. I only have these 2 copies of Azure Flame. I am sure she was trying to be a fighter. Oh, got the Enchanted Blades. That's not terrible. Could have some more, though. Why do I have this? Yeah, she's interesting because she's 7/7. So this is probably why I had it. I don't think any other mystics have fewer than 7 sanity. Parallel Agnes, I guess. Or even just have fewer than 8, really. And it's a problem for her because you use arcane research and then you're down to very low numbers of sanity and you need to like heal it back up. So that's probably why I had this. It's not great, but there it is. That's also why I played Azure Flame, because you need the horror to play your water protections. Okay. We're getting to the end. You can see I'm a little punchy now. I don't like Diana. We are going to move on to Vincent Lee. I like Vincent. He is a investigator. I had a really good time playing him in the Scarlet Keys on my channel. I will show you that deck because at the end it was fantastic. And it was even playing with not that many cards from other sets because it was limited deck building. Runic Axe was crazy. Garish was really good. Look at this, only 10 assets. What am I doing, right? But really the events and skills are just, they're all good stuff. If I were playing with all of the cards in the card pool, I would have added Grizzly Totem level 3 for Seekers to draw through a bit better. But mine never matter with the Runic Axe, and the Runic Axe had Elders. Ooh boy, it was really good. I would recommend just playing this deck. It looks so simple, but I would just play this deck as it is and have a really good time. Why isn't he an A+? Because I don't think there's much more I want to get out of Vincent at the moment. The other A+ investigators, I can see myself playing again and doing something different. Okay. Amina. Uh-oh. Amina goes down to C. Actually, no. She's in D. I actually had a decent time playing Safina, and I can see how Diana works, even though if I didn't like it. Even though I didn't like it. Amina, I did not enjoy playing. Here is her deck that I played through Edge of the Earth. There's enough there that it should have been okay, and it probably was. And it just was not fun. We got Dream Diary, we've got Obsidian Bracelet, Treacheries, a lot of damage in that campaign. I tried to upgrade the Summon Servitor a bit. Arcane Studies so she could actually pass tests. Even a Blood Pact. Yeah, there's no skills here. I don't think they do enough. The Dream Diary itself is a skill, right? Basically +2 or 4 every round. Astral Mirror let her carry other things. This doesn't look like a bad deck if I'm just, analyzing it. But it wasn't fun. Part of the reason is that her ability went away in the last scenario. Even the Devil was totally okay. You can dump this with a Doom. I didn't have fun playing it, though. What else can I say? I didn't have fun playing it. I guess that's it. We actually have 3 others out here that I didn't put on the screen, so let's just do them. Gloria, I think she's fun to play. She's too strong, probably, but I like being able to see what's in the encounter deck and not tell your friends. She does a lot. It's not too hard to trigger her ability. I played her with the Astronomical Atlas. I'll show you that one. No reason why not. It was really good. I played with Rogue just to tone things down a little bit. The divinations were really strong. I tried to do Curse with Eye of Chaos, and it never worked. But it didn't really matter because I was getting the clues no matter what. Like the 4 intellect that she has is super strong. Yeah, that was Gloria. The Hone Instinct was cute, but I think it was a mistake because it got stuck on the Atlas a few times. I couldn't commit it to any agility tests on the team. but 2 astronomical atlases was absolutely insane. I was drawing 3 cards every turn, basically. Yeah, it was fun though. Maybe not as fun as the other ones on this list. Parallel Roland, he's A+. Parallel Roland comes with these directives, if you're not familiar. Sorry, I don't have it up on the screen. I'll show you the deck though. He does some pretty cool things. This was return to Circle and Done. So he's got these directives, and his directives were can't fight more than twice each round because he was a straight clover, but you get to exhaust this, +2 skill value for each enemy engaged with you. Actually helped. Actually could evade, which is crazy. Can't play more than 2 cards each round, but when you play an insight or tactic event, exhaust this directive, it gains fast. And then after you discover a clue, if an enemy is at your location, draw a card. So I had handcuffs and dragged around enemies. Field agent to get clues. Trusted to get even more off of the field agent. Hollowed mirror. Just keep healing the field agents. And then all these events did something. I don't think I needed Dynamite Blast. I think I just had it because my fighter on the team was Patrice with a sledgehammer. We won before the Black Throne. I'm not going to say it was easy, but it was effective. I believe what I did is I just walked to the last location. I think even Patrice got some clues, but I perhaps even just played Drawn the Flame and said, well, there we go. This is a dumb card. That also helped. Sure Gamble. He can take Sure Gamble. Also helped. I think we maybe drew like a -4 or 5 or a token that had that as a modifier, and I was like, actually, it's a +5. It was fun. This is A+. Parallel Skids O'Toole. I only played him actually with the front side being parallel. Back was the original one, and I kind of regretted it. I kept auto-failing on his ability. I know you shouldn't do that. I know that he can be very strong, but often I was like, I wish I could just spend 2 resources to buy an action. That sounds bizarre, but I actually believe that. So he's going to actually be in B also. Honestly, I had a worse time playing him than I did regular Skids. I've only done it once. I should probably play him again. He's going to go to C. No, I mean, gambling was too fun, but he's going to go in B. I want to like him more than I actually did, so I got to play him again. Which is kind of the nature of the whole beast here, right? Like, I have only played some of these investigators a few times, and let's just scroll up here so we can get the whole picture. I am going to probably make some adjustments. Are these my only S tier investigators? Huh. I'm going to put Calvin here. Okay. This seems right. Again, not by strength. This is just like the stuff that I've enjoyed playing the most. I like how there's one from every class up here, except for Mystic. Nope, Mystic's here. Guardian. I actually like Guardians a lot. But they tend not to be as interesting as I'd like them to be. There's a lot in the A tier. I don't think there's actually all that much predictable by class. I would actually say Rogue is one of my favorite classes, and then we've got some Rogues that are sitting here at the bottom. A+. This seems okay to me. The A's, they want to move up. No. Again, I've had a good time playing all of these. Some of them go to the bottom of the list if I were to rank within the tiers. And Diana, you're going to go down to D tier. D for Diana, the only investigator that I never finished a campaign with. I gave up. I'll play her again. She's not D tier in power level. She's like A or A+. but I didn't have a good time. Yeah, so as you can sort of tell here, the kinds of investigators I like playing with have a lot of interesting choices to make during their turns. They probably heavily rely on their card pool to do the thing they want to do. Daisy, probably not on that one, but the rest of them I think can use their card pool to their advantage, or maybe need to, even. Whereas, like the investigators with like 5s in their stats, mostly are sitting down here. Agnes is here, I know that, and so is Daisy, but they have other things going for them. Where are their 5s? So Nathaniel Cho's a 5, Harvey's a 5, Winifred's I guess up here too, but 5 in agility is not quite the same thing. Mandy, Dexter. Yeah, this looks pretty good to me. Most of them are high, right? Like the difference between A and A plus, honestly, is there's something there to me, but not so big. Not so big that I could say like, man, what a terrible job the designers did, right? Only a few of them landing down here is really good. They've done a great job with designing investigators, I think. There's a couple here between A and B that I might move around. Is Gloria really better than Jacqueline in terms of how much I've enjoyed playing her? Probably. I think the off class does a lot there, and I think you just do a lot more with with your ability. It's funny though, like I love token manipulation with Jim and Mateo being way up here, and then Jacqueline, I think she just makes it too easy. You're just going to draw the token. You need to work at it a little bit, right? You got to work at it with Mateo and Jim. All right. I think that's it. Thank you for watching. I know this is a longer video. It's a special bonus video. Not really a bonus. All of them are bonus videos. But thank you for your support over the last year in watching my channel. I've had a great time engaging with all of you with the comments and whatnot, and I hope to make some more content for you during the next year, especially when we get into our new cycle coming out in January and February. Hemlock Vale will come out. An Investigator set will be January 19th, I think, and then the campaign comes out about a month later. All right, look forward to talking to you in a future video.